What's up YouTube, jDantastic here, and today I'm doing the Dragon Ball Z tag. Rhymestyle tagged me to do this video. There's basically a bunch of questions about Dragon Ball Z that I am supposed to answer, and then I'm going to tag some other people to answer these same questions. So Rhymestyle was tagged by Quaman. I think he also tagged Geekdom. I'm not sure the third person that he tagged, and then Rhymestyle tagged me and two others, and so I will be tagging Omega Pro, Dr. Love, and ZZ Toasty. So those three have been tagged. Make sure you go to their channels and let them know, or tweet at them and let them know that they have been tagged, and it is their turn to do this video. And then also, if you want to answer any of these questions in the comment section down below, I officially tag all of you viewers out there. I would love to know what you guys have to say about these answers. So let's get started. Here we go. There are 21 questions in total. So the first question is, who is your favorite character and why? My favorite character is Vegeta. He's always been one of my favorite characters. He, in my opinion, has the most development out of the series. He changes a lot throughout the series. I mean, I guess the core of Vegeta doesn't change, but the way that he thinks and acts and kind of behaves changes a little bit, more so than anyone else in the series. I think that he is one of the strongest willed characters in the series, I guess. I know that a lot of people could argue that point. There's a lot of different viewpoints, but from my perspective, Vegeta is and has always been one of my favorite characters, just because he's awesome. He's always tearing down his own barriers, and he's usually doing it on his own. And just the transition that we see him as just being this crazy savage, basically, when he first arrives, to being one of the greatest assets that the Z Fighters has. So there you go. Vegeta is my favorite character. Who is your favorite villain and why? This has never changed. My favorite villain has always been Frieza ever since I first saw him on screen. He's one of my favorite villains, actually, across any platform, video game, show, TV series. He is absolutely ruthless. He is a villain to the core. He's almost a perfect villain. You know, the other enemies in Dragon Ball Z, they're kind of just evil. You know, past Frieza, it's not really, you know, there's Cell, but he was just created to be this really strong character, and he doesn't necessarily have like a purpose or anything like that. And Boo was just created, and he's evil, but there's no like drive. He's just evil for the sake of evil, so there's no, like, you know, thought process behind it. Frieza is evil because he just doesn't care. He just wants to be evil, and he does what he wants, and so that, in my mind, is what makes a great villain. He's scary to the core. And then we all saw with the Resurrection F, if he actually put his mind to something, it's crazy. He spends like 5 seconds training, and then all of a sudden he's like one of the strongest people in the universe. So that's pretty crazy. Frieza has and always will be one of my favorite villains of all time, regardless of the series. Let's see. What is your favorite quote or statement? Now, obviously, this is going to differ a little bit between different subs and dubs and the manga and all that kind of stuff, but for me, watching the show originally, it is right before Goku goes Super Saiyan, and you can just tell that he's losing it, and with the most emotion in his voice ever, he says, "I won't let you get away with this." Now, sometimes, I think in the manga, he says, "You will pay for this." There's some different variations on that, but for me, my favorite is when he says, "I won't let you get away with this" to Frieza, and then he loses it, and he transforms, and everything just goes crazy. So that quote or statement, even though it's not necessarily the same across all of the different outlets, that, to me, watching that as a kid, was just like, oh man, like Goku just lost his mind. Like, he's finally like putting his foot down. He's had enough. You know, he's going to stop Frieza one way or another. It's gonna happen. Like, no more games, no more normal Goku. Like, he just goes crazy. So that moment is my favorite quote or statement. Which is your favorite female character? If we're just limiting this to Dragon Ball Z and beyond, not counting Dragon Ball, I mean, probably Bulma, I guess. There aren't a ton of other female characters to choose from. I mean, there's Chi-Chi, but she's just kind of crazy. She's funny at times, but she's mostly just a hindrance against Gohan and Goku, which Gohan, is arguably, he wanted to go down that path anyway. That wasn't necessarily just Chi-Chi, but Launch was always really funny from Dragon Ball, but I think probably just Bulma. I mean, she's been around, even in Dragon Ball, she was a great character, and she's been around from the very start of the series she basically kickstarted everything. Like, Bulma is a very pivotal character in the entire Dragon Ball storyline. Not so much anymore, but just the fact that she's still there and still involved, and she's Vegeta and she's the mother of Trunks, and she's a very, very, very important part of the whole storyline. So, and she's cool. She does stuff. She's like a genius, and she has helped the characters in her own right. I think she's a great character. So, it would easily go to Bulma without a question there. Question number 5, and I gotta stay on track here. What is your favorite fight? Includes everything. Includes everything. Again, I'm probably gonna have to say, man, nostalgia plays a big factor in most of the answers for me, at least. The newer stuff is great, but it's gotta be Goku versus Frieza. That fight was just, it went on and on and on, and it was back and forth, and Frieza was stronger, and then Goku was stronger, and Frieza was stronger, and Goku was stronger, and it's just, as a kid, watching that was just insane. The fights are still great. Goku versus Beerus is super cool, but if I had to pick a favorite fight scene, Goku versus Frieza. What is your favorite episode? There's a trend here. my favorite episode is Transformed at Last. It's Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time. It's just so much raw emotion. A lot of stuff just happened. Frieza was dead, and then he's not, and he's killing everyone, and then Goku loses his mind, and he just transforms into this crazy strong being of awesome. So that would be my favorite episode. He just starts whooping Frieza around. What is your favorite Dragon Ball song? Any type of song. This is question number 7. Probably for me would be the original main title, I guess. So I don't even know if it has an actual title. Rock the Dragon, I think, is what most people call it. But just, again, like hearing that, like coming home from school and then that song starts playing, it's like, oh, it's time to go. Here we go. It's Dragon Ball Z. It's on. Shut up, mom. Don't talk to me. It's time to watch this episode. Yeah, I think that's got to be, it's the most memorable, at least. I like a lot of the other music, certainly, but as far as what takes me back to watching the show would probably be that. What is your favorite movie or special? Probably Resurrection F, to be honest. Seeing Frieza come back, being that he is my favorite villain, and how it's still that movie was fairly relevant to the actual storyline. A lot of the other Dragon Ball Z movies were they're kind of like an alternate timeline. They don't really fit in with the rest of what's going on. But they were just kind of one-offs. They kind of fit in a way, but not really. And Resurrection F was essentially a continuation of the storyline. They redid it in Super, but still, it's the movie was that, it was an actual part of the thing. And just having Frieza come back, being one of my favorite villains, I think it's safe to say. And just with the new animation, it's so clear and clean, and just yeah. Resurrection F, Fukatsu no F, favorite Dragon Ball movie. Question number 9, what is your favorite race in Dragon Ball? That's a tough question. They all have their strengths and weaknesses. Part of me wants to say Saiyan just because of how, central they are to the series. There's always, Frieza's race is really cool, but there's a lot of mystery surrounding them. We don't really know a lot about them, which does make them really cool. You know, we don't really know their full potential, or, you know, how far they can actually go, or how strong they can become, or where they come from, or what their actual race is even called. Man, and I mean, to be fair, I really like the Namekians too, and they play a very central role in the Dragon Ball storyline. I mean, you know, the creation of the Dragon Balls, basically, and Kami being the guardian of Earth, and Piccolo playing such a huge role, and you know, with how strong Piccolo is actually able to become. I mean, he's keeping up with these characters throughout the show, and no one else, none of the other Z fighters, you know, have been able to really accomplish that feat. So, man, if I had to pick a favorite race, gosh, that's a tough question. It's got to be. I think I'm just gonna go with Saiyan. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but compared to all the other races, they're a race of like overcoming your obstacles, and, you know, never giving up, and just achieving what you want to achieve through hard work. I think it's got to be the Saiyans, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Saiyans. This is question number 10. What is your favorite race in I just answered that question. Number 10. What is your favorite Dragon Ball video game? Probably. See, now I've gone kind of back and forth on this one too. Probably Xenoverse. Man, these are tough questions. These are not easy. Tenkaichi 3, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was my favorite, and is still very, very close to the top because of how much I played it with friends. I mean, we spent hours. We would get into actual fights over that game. And that game, to me, really, really felt like I was playing Dragon Ball Z. Like, you know, even with some of the unbalancing issues and different things that people say is wrong with the game, it really felt like, when I played it, it felt like I was playing Dragon Ball Z. It felt like I was playing an episode of Dragon Ball Z. And I think that's what made it so fun. That's what made it so exciting. But Xenoverse, you know, is really cool because they got really experimental with it as far as what they could do, experimenting with, you know, tweaks to the storyline. We weren't just playing the same storyline over again, which the storyline is great, but obviously, you know, something new and refreshing is nice to have. So it was cool that they kind of went away from that. And then kind of the MMO aspect of it was really cool, and we finally got to create our own characters, which is amazing. So I think the fact that, and I like Xenoverse. I mean, I know that there's a lot of stuff that you could knock it on and say that it's not that great, but I really thought it was a great game. I'm still playing it. I still put the mods on there. Sometimes I throw it in and just play it just for fun. I mean, it's really fun. So Dragon Ball Xenoverse it takes the number 1 spot for favorite Dragon Ball video game. If I were in the Dragon Ball world, who would I train with? Question number 11. This kind of, I'm not going to go with the normal answers. I mean, some of the normal answers would probably be like King Kai or Whis or Beerus now, because they're super strong. My toss-up would be between, I would like to train with Vegeta, because Vegeta's gonna make you strong, I guess, or die trying. But his character at this point, I don't think he would kill you. I mean, he might work you to death. But if you really want to achieve your goal, Vegeta does. He does it every time, and he usually does it alone with little to no help. So I think either Vegeta or it might be Piccolo. I mean, Piccolo, from here or there, he's another character that just really, really pushes you to take it to the next level. I mean, these two, you know, Vegeta and Piccolo aren't necessarily going to teach you a lot of like new moves or new techniques or things like that, but they will take you from where you are and they will make you better, undoubtedly, and probably far, far, far stronger than you are right now. But I think if I had to pick anyone to train with, it would be Vegeta, because it would basically ensure, and I mean, you could argue, like, obviously Whis is, you know, this this crazy mysterious character, and he's trained the gods, obviously, and he's super powerful, and he can make you super powerful. Yeah, but I don't know. Part of it is probably because Vegeta is my favorite character, so I would pick Vegeta to train with. This is question number 12. What is the saddest Dragon Ball moment? Man, to me, there aren't really that many. I think one of the saddest moments, it's hard to pick a sad moment because sad moments usually revolve around death, and death in Dragon Ball, it's not really a thing that matters. I think one of the saddest things is, or the most touching things, I guess, both of them for me revolve around Vegeta. Surprise, surprise. It's either when Vegeta sacrifices himself as Maj Vegeta, or when he dies on Namek, when Frieza kills him on Namek, and he basically goes into this long story about how Frieza is terrible and he's responsible for, all of the wrongdoing against the Saiyans, and he's basically begging Goku to take care of this, to step up for the Saiyans, and you could feel it that he's like, I need this. He's basically reaching out to someone else at this point. He knows his time is up, basically, and he's kind of reaching out saying, help me, help us, help our race, redeem us. And then, of course, the final explosion, when he sacrifices himself, and he'd never done anything like that before. He's completely selfless, and, he gets the kids out of there, and he's basically, and it was all for nothing, which was sad, which was sad. But I think probably if I had to pick one moment, it would be when he died on Namek the first time. He wasn't dead for too long, but that touching moment where he kind of reaches out to Goku for the first time, when he's actually reaching out to someone, he's not just... at that point, he had kind of transitioned into someone we could see becoming an ally, but he wasn't really there yet. But then at that moment, he was kind of like, you know what, I need Goku, I need Kakarot, like we need to stick together. I'm dead now, but like he needs to know what happened, and so he kind of reaches out to him there. So I think that's probably the most touching, saddest moment for me. Number 13, what is the most shocking moment? Again, kind of hard because even watching it as a kid, and before there was like a ton of internet boards or whatever, you heard rumors on the bus to school. You couldn't someone didn't just tell you something and you were like, let me Google it real quick, and you could find out if they were lying or not. It was like, oh man, I heard Goku goes Super Saiyan 17 in the next episode, and you're like, what? No way! And the only way you would find out is if you went and watched the episode. Like, there's no other way to know that. So I think probably the most shocking was when Frieza came back out of the water and killed Krillin and Piccolo. I'm not sure what else would be more shocking than that. There's not really a lot of shocking moments. I mean, the whole series is, not to knock the series, but it's kind of predictable, I guess, in a sense. So, but that was, it's kind of like he's dead, and then he comes back, he's not dead, he's killing everybody else. Like, what's going on? So, it's probably the most shocking moment. Question number 14, what is the funniest Dragon Ball moment, and who is the funniest character? A lot of the funny moments, trying to look back, I mean, Dragon Ball was funny. Dragon Ball had a lot of funny stuff in it. Dragon Ball Z had moments here and there. If I had to pick the funniest character, I would say Master Roshi, because he's just this creepy old man. So he's super funny. Yajirobe has his moments. Jocko was pretty funny. He's funny in the movie. The show is, he's decent. Funniest moment, probably when I might just be saying this one because it was the most recent that I can think of, was probably when Hercule punches Goku and Goku fakes flying away. That's probably the funniest moment. There might be more that I would find more funny, but on the top of my head, in my opinion, Dragon Ball was a lot funnier, and Master Roshi was a big role in that. And when he's on screen now, he's still kind of funny sometimes. So I'd say Master Roshi is funniest character, funniest moment when Hercule hits Goku. Number 15, what is the most memorable moment? Again, probably Goku going. It's either Goku going Super Saiyan on Namek or Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 against Cell. And I'm probably gonna edge it out and give it to Goku just because for me Gohan going Super Saiyan 2 was really, 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 really cool, and it was super epic. But it wasn't the first time we'd seen it, I guess. And so to me, the first time we saw this transformation and explosion of raw power is still the best part for me. So I'm going to give the most memorable moment to Goku going Super Saiyan. How do you prefer to watch Dragon Ball? Question 16. Original, Funimation, Kai, or other? To me, I don't care. I really don't care. Dub, sub, rub-a-dub, tub, and whatever. Kai is great. I like Dragon Ball Z. I like all of the characters. I like the storyline. I know there's a lot of people who feel that one version is better than the other, or one version is terrible because translations aren't that great, or the voice acting, and the music, or blah 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 blah. I don't know. I don't think I'm not that picky of a person. I like Dragon Ball Z. So if Dragon Ball Z an original episode is on, I'm gonna watch it. If Dragon Ball Z Kai is on, I'm gonna watch it. Dragon Ball Super hasn't been dubbed yet. It's subbed. I'm gonna watch it. I tend to stay away from those arguments because to me it doesn't matter. I just enjoy the show for what it is, and that's it. So I don't really have a preference there. Number 17. What is something you have of Dragon Ball that most fans don't have? I probably not a lot really. I have some pop figures that you can see back there. I like to collect those. I have some other figures. I do have this Dragon Ball, actually, this 2-star Dragon Ball. Rhymestyle gave me this. Actually, there are 7 of these. Well, there are more than 7 of these in the world. But there were 7 of these purchased and given out to 7 people throughout the world. So, and I have one of them, kind of cool. So I have the 2-star Dragon Ball. This is actually one of my favorite things. Actually, it's just really cool. Sometimes I keep it on my desk. I play with it a lot. I toss it around or whatever. Let's see. What question was that? And just to throw it out there, the one thing I don't have that I want is the manga. I want it. I want the box set, and I haven't been able to get it yet, but I will one day. Let's see. I've read through it. I just don't have it. Let's see. Number 18. Which fake transformation, fusion, or character do you like the most? Fake is in fan made? I don't understand the question. Is it or fake like Hercule fake, like when he thought he went Super Saiyan, like Super Hercule, like that fake? Because I can't think of. I don't know. I mean, there's been some like funny stuff that I've like the fusion of like Tien and Yamcha, like that's kind of funny. Or I don't know if I like some of the fan artwork and stuff, like Super Saiyan 5 Goku has always been kind of cool to me, like with the white fur and white hair and white tail. That stuff's kind of cool. I guess I don't know how to answer that question. I don't know which fake is, but yeah, I don't know. Fake stuff is cool, I guess. Number 19. What is the number one thing you love about Dragon Ball? I think it's all about achieving your goal. It's all about working as hard as you possibly can, doing whatever it takes, no matter what, no matter the odds, no matter what is stacked against you. You do whatever you can to win, or you die trying. Essentially, there is no halfway of doing it. You either win or you die, and you do whatever it takes. And I think that's part of why Vegeta is my favorite character. He does whatever it takes. It doesn't matter. If he has to go off to a lone meteor alone in space and train by himself, he will, because he will do whatever it takes. Whatever they are driven to do in the show, they will do whatever it takes. If Gohan wants to become someone who studies and not a fighter, he's gonna do what that takes. He's gonna be someone who studies and gets married and has a kid, because that's what Gohan wants to do. All of the characters, they're really good about achieving what they want. They're really good about setting their goals and hitting them. Limits mean nothing to the characters of Dragon Ball Z. So I think that is my favorite part of Dragon Ball. Number 20. What is the number one thing you hate about Dragon Ball. There's not a lot I hate about Dragon Ball. The thing that, you know, when I was a kid, this didn't matter so much. But now watching through Dragon Ball Z, or, you know, experiencing it again, or experiencing through the storyline, is that there isn't a lot of, I like dark stuff. Things like Death Note is one of my favorite animes. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is one of my favorite animes. Hunter x Hunter is up there, and you know, those anime, they have I don't know how to put it into words. I guess they have these you can it's there's a much darker setting. Things are much more real in those series than they are in Dragon Ball Z. And I mean, like, in Dragon Ball Z, death doesn't really mean anything because you can always fix it with the Dragon Ball. They always have a way to fix it. There's no, oh man, that person just died and that's it. You know, there's not, I mean, even like Naruto, you know, stuff happens and there's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. They just have to live with it. So, and I like that kind of stuff. I like the darker side of things, and Dragon Ball doesn't really have that. It's more of an adventure, happy-go-lucky, you know, kind of thing. So it's kind of lacking in that department. We've never really seen. I mean, we've seen like dark stuff, like when Frieza impales Krillin and he's like shaking him around on his horn. You know, like that's like, whoa, like that's, you know, crazy. But at the same time, it's like, bah, he'll be back. You know, so we're not that worried about Krillin. We feel bad. But we're not like super, you know, we're not super torn up about it. So, number 21, last question. Where does Dragon Ball rank in your favorite anime of all time? I'd give it top 5, I think. And I don't really have a particular order, because all of the series that I do really enjoy, all the ones that I watch a lot of, I enjoy them because there's a lot of different aspects to them. So I don't think I have a particular, like, you know, this is my number 1, this is my number 2, this is my number 3. But I would say that Dragon Ball through Dragon Ball Super now, top 5 anime. Nostalgia plays a big factor in that, but not only. I mean, you know, I enjoy it. So that's it, guys. There we go. That is my Dragon Ball Z tag. So I hope you enjoyed it. Again, let the people know who I tagged at the start of the video know that they have been tagged. Either comment on their YouTube channels or tweet at them on the Twitters. Answer the questions yourself if you want to in the comment section down below. I will be in the comment section to discuss with you guys. If you have any further questions for me, if you want any clarifications or anything like that, if you want to ask me, add to the 21 questions, let me know. So huge shout out to Rhymestyle for tagging me. Huge shout out to Quaman for getting everyone started on this cool little thing for the community. So that is fun stuff, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button. If it's your first time stopping by my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Stick around with us, have some fun. And as always, I will talk to you in the next video. Later.